Hello all, this is El Presidente Tel here. Sorry about the glasses, but it's my day off. So, response video time. Been on my good old friend, MyFreedomChannel. Seen her video today, Divorce Agreement. Been through it. Interesting little animation where the voice seems to be a little bit kind of chunky, but we will continue. So basically, her argument is there's two sides of America since the 1950s, and it's time for them to get a divorce because the Marxist, progressive, liberal, Obama-supporting side of America will never agree with the other half, which I'm going to call the conservative, religious, Republican side, and they're agreeing a divorce. So the first part she comes up with is the hard bit is going to be splitting the landmass. Well, yeah, one of the biggest countries in the Western world, and you're arguing about splitting it in half. I mean, which way are you going to do this? Is it going to be the Mason-Dixon line? I mean, are you going to do it across the Rockies, or what? I mean, what way do you split America? Do you split it across who voted Democrat and who voted Republican? Because if we'd done it under Reagan, Walter Mondale would have been in trouble. But anyway, that point aside, we then get on to who gets what. Now, liberals get all of the classic liberal organisations and people. Redistributive taxation. Andy Stern, who's a big union head in America, all of the unions, the American Civil Liberties Union, Ed Schultz, Michael Moore, Rosie O'Donnell, basically all the poster people that the Conservative use to attack the liberal cause. Now, the American Civil Liberties Union, people who aren't particularly partisan but have fought years and years for the civil rights of everyone in America. Any time the government infringes on their liberty, the ACLU has got involved. Now, Conservatives get the police, the military, the National Rifle Association and guns, greedy corporations, the free market, pharmaceuticals, stop me in a minute, Walmart and Wall Street. Well, frankly, you're entitled to Wall Street. Anything that can take $700 billion of government money for their own screw-up is, welcome. You can keep that. A liberal society would not take a Wall Street. Now, taking Wall Street and the free market as well, incidentally, is a sort of contradictory, because what happened with the Wall Street bailout was that was put through by Bush. Obama and McCain both agreed to vote for it and had everyone else vote for it, but for 4 die-hard Republicans who said this is not true capitalism. If it was, we would let these banks die under capitalism. If they have not survived, they've not passed the test, gone. But no, the American government bailed them out. Now, on to your next bit, where you said liberals are free to take the homeless, the jobless, the homeboys, the hippies and the illegals, whilst the Conservatives get greedy CEOs, Alaskan hockey mums and rednecks. Now, what is it about liberals that makes you think we all want the homeless, the unemployed, the homeboys? I'm not quite sure what you mean by this term. Do you mean gangster rappers? Do you mean people who walk down the street going yo yo yo? Do you mean estate agents, boys who help you find homes? Or do you just mean black people? Could you please just come out and say it if that's what you mean? Hippies and illegals. We don't all want these things. I mean, I'm speaking as probably what you would consider a raving lunatic Marxist, Zapatista, Castroist, Kalashnikov wielding revolucionario. And Conservatives, Alaskan hockey mums. Really? Sarah Palin is all you've got, is it? That's it. Sarah Palin and greedy CEOs. I'm not going to say anything about rednecks because I admire rednecks. I think Larry the Cable Guy is very funny. But, that's by the by. Conservatives get the Bibles. Liberals get CNN, NBC and Hollywood was the next point. Well, you know what? Fair swap actually. I'll take that. Liberals can make nice with Iran and Palestine, the peaceniks and the war protesters. Not every war is unjust. There are some where it's the right thing to do. And not every liberal, myself included, wants to make peace with Iran or Palestine. You know, I object to their theocracy as much as I object to your religious theocracy that you're trying to impose on your nation. And I would object if anyone tried to do it in my nation. But your argument is then to thump and invade anyone who gets in your way. You say that in the video, the right to invade those who threaten you. Well, maybe that's not the answer. Maybe the answer is not to invade everyone who gets in your way. Have you not thought maybe that's why you're not on every country's Christmas card list? Because you keep invading other countries. Iraq, however, hadn't threatened you once. They had had a brief skirmish with you in 1991, and they may have threatened to blow up George Bush I in 1994. Apart from that, they had done nothing to the United States. They had never touched United States soil, and we had the Iraq thing. Conservatives get to keep their Judeo-Christian way of life. Liberals get Scientology, humanism and atheism. Well, not all liberals are atheists. There are some liberal Christians. What about Islam? What about Hinduism, Buddhism? I mean, do they factor into your world plan at all? Or are you just going to ignore those? Conservatives won't pay for the UN. Fair enough. You know, we have our problems with the European Union over here. When you get the gas covered in cars, liberals get the Volvos. I'm a liberal. I adore Mustangs more than anything else. So, you know, I don't want the Volvos either. If you could get all the Priuses in the world and chuck them in a ditch, I'd love it. Liberals won't have any doctors to provide their universal health care. Conservatives see their health care as a luxury and not a right. Well, here I have to disagree. In England, we've had the National Health Service for over 60 years, and despite what Fox News tells you, it is a damn fine system. It's probably the best system I've ever worked under because I work in it. It's the best system going. I wouldn't have any other kind of thing. But I can't I'm not going to go into the whole NHS now. If you look up a user called DPR Jones, he does a whole bit about why the NHS is good, and what the Fox News says about it is very erroneous reporting. The next part is all about national identity, that the Conservatives will take along with them when they leave America, Old Glory, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, the Star Spangled Banner, because all these things offend liberals. I don't think they offend liberals at all. I think they get fed up of the flag waving and the accusation that any time they criticise their government, they're not a patriot. Because sometimes the biggest way of being a patriot is to question your country's motives for doing something, and the right to stand up and fight against your country when you believe that they are inherently and morally wrong is sometimes a greater patriotism than any blindsiding support would ever be. And then finally, just some kind of weird thing of we won't press 1 for English. Now, was there any need for that? Was there any need for you to sit there and come up with a strange kind of we're being overtaken by the Mexicans bit? You have this real thing against the Mexicans, don't you? I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'd love to know what you have against just pressing 1 on a phone. I mean, coming from a country where every other call centre is Indian call centre, you know, you haven't even got it half bad yet. At least they're giving you the option on English. But anyway, I don't figure I'll get very far with this because, you know, our relationship started on the wrong foot. But hey, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. And don't throw all liberals together in one basket, please. I don't like a lot of them either. This is El Presidente Tel. Love, peace and liberty.